Hi, everyone. Stephen Vantassel, wildlife control consultant. Another episode of Living the Wildlife as part of the Pest Geek podcast family. So we're so glad to have you with us. And so we don't have a sponsor for this show at this particular time, but we're glad you're here. And we are especially glad to have Hal Coleman, pestcontrolmarketer.com. He's a marketer extraordinaire. He's had quite a career, and he's here to share some tips for you as a service provider to help you actually make more money and perhaps do less foolish things like some of the things that I did when I was running my business. So, Hal, welcome aboard.
Great to be here, Stephen.
Well, tell us a little about yourself, and then we'll get into the meat.
Well, I was born a long time ago when I was just a little baby.
Okay. All right.
I'm a native of Roswell, Georgia. I guess you can tell by my accent. I'm from the Southeast, and went to the University of Georgia, graduated in 1974 with a degree in entomology, and that's where I got introduced to the pest control industry, was in college.
Right.
So I came right out of there in 1974 and went to work for the Georgia Agriculture Department as a pest control regulatory inspector.
Sure. Okay.
Worked there from 74 to 84. Then in 84, I went to work for a pretty good size independent pest control company here in Atlanta. I worked for them for 6 years, 3 years running a route and doing termite inspections. And then I moved into sales for the next 3 years, which was, I never got a base salary or anything. I was 100% commissions for 3 years.
Ooh.
Then in June of 1990, went in business for myself as one man with a spray can operation, and I kept that business for 18 years, and I sold it back about 12 years ago. During that time, a guy named Larry Latimer, who I had known through during the daytime, I was always a pest control guy killing bugs, but at night and on the weekends, I was in the marketing and advertising business, writing jingles and ads for furniture stores and banks and automobile dealerships. So one of the guys that was an associate of mine there named Larry Latimer introduced me to the world of direct response marketing that I had no idea even existed.
So like you were a copy editor then? You were writing copy and ads?
I wrote copy. I wrote and sang jingles in
Wow.
the studio. And I got so fired up about that because I said, nobody in the pest control industry, not only do they not know this stuff, they've never even heard of this stuff before.
Right,
so we started using my business as a guinea pig for a couple of years. And I was just like so wowed that out of the blue, a guy made me an offer to sell my pest control business, to buy my pest control business. I said, are you serious? He said, well, I am if you are.
Nice.
And I went home and told my wife, I said, guess what I did today? I sold my business.
Wow. Without even consulting her, just out of the blue?
Yeah, I had 10 employees. I didn't even consult them either.
That's some guts right there.
So
I'd be more afraid of the wife than I would be the workers. But
my wife's not. She's always been, look, whatever you want to do, I trust you. I don't know anything about you. So it worked out good, and I started my coaching business. That was 12 years ago. And I've been working with pest control companies every day since, from Southern California to upstate New York to Australia to UK to all over the place.
Yeah,
just
people are the same everywhere, aren't they?
They're all the same.
They're the same.
And some people aren't interested in really pursuing business growth. They have really good little profitable, tight, neat little businesses, and they don't want to mess with it. And I understand that. Everybody doesn't want to grow their business.
That's right.
So my focus is on people who are a 1 or 2 or 3 man operator, and they want to build a $1 or $2 million business.
Well, you got the right audience, because the majority of wildlife control operator business, because I'm the vertebrate guy. So you already spoke with my colleague Franklin, and when you were doing that live cast through YouTube, you know, a lot of pest control companies, there's a lot of single man operations or single person operations with pest control, but in wildlife control, that is still the norm. And only a small fraction are actually two man or multi-person companies right now. So, you know, there's an area that's growth in labor is a huge problem in our industry, in terms of getting people to do diversity of work, climbing ladders and all that. It can be a very physically demanding job.
Oh yeah.
And so even more so, I think, you know, not that pest control isn't, but in terms of most pest control guys aren't climbing 40-foot ladders. And so, and it's a different world. So we're here. What I would love to have you do, and that is to give some of our, you know, those small business people that you're tied to, that you work with, you know, 5 things that they can sink their teeth into, that they can implement relatively quickly. And then I would like you to add in at the end, you know, we want you to sell your company as well, because you're here giving some free advice, and we believe in, you know, capitalism here at the Pest Geek Podcast. And so, you know, feel free to say, you know, who is your client, you know, other than, and for people to say, hey, to evaluate whether they're going to get in touch with you and how to get in touch with you and that sort of thing. So I know, let me give you one of my pet peeves. I did that before our podcast here, and that is, people don't carry business cards with them. It totally blows my mind.
Yeah, they don't.
It totally blows my mind. And so that's one. That's not Hal's, everyone. That's mine. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Why don't you get started?
Well, I'm going to go a little more general, because I want to talk about some things that aren't just there, but that cover your online and your offline marketing.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Major things. Now, I'm fond of telling people, you know, successful marketing is not any one big thing. It's 1,000 little things.
Yes.
And if each one of those little things only gets you one new customer, if you do all 1,000 of them, you'll end up with 1,000 new customers.
Okay.
And if you just do 5 of them, you'll end up with 5 new customers.
5. Okay.
But there are some things that need to be done from the very beginning. I have what I call it's funny you said 5 things, because I have a thing that I refer to as the magic formula.
Okay.
For attracting customers and having them sign on the dotted line. And it's a magic combination. And here it is. And we'll go over all 5 of them.
All right.
In this order. Here's who I am. Here's what I've got.
Okay.
Here's what it'll do for you.
Yeah.
Here's how you get it.
All right.
And here's why you need to get it right now.
Why, right?
So let's look at those. Number 1, here's who I am. We people want to do business with people. They don't care anything about corporations or lifeless entities or numbers. They want to do business with somebody. So I found this out early on. It made a major difference when I put my picture on my website and on my business cards, and it said Hal Coleman, president. And here's who I am. I'm Hal Coleman, and I got a little bio on my website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. You can, and that's the way it was on my pest control. Here's who I am. I'm a Roswell native. I'm married. I got 2 children. I started in pest control business in '74. I have a philosophy of the customer comes first. I'm involved in my community. I'm a Rotarian, the Methodist Church. So a little bio, and people now, they say, wow, this is a guy's just like he's one of us. I tell people what you want to be is the Mike Lindell of your business. Okay. This is my pest control business, and you hire me, you're going to have the best night's sleep, and you're not going to see any bugs. And I started my business in my home state of Minnesota, and I've made this pillow. I mean, everybody in America loves that guy. Yeah. They want to just hug him and bounce him around. He's the name and the face of that business, and that's who you're doing business with. You look at so many companies, ultra successful, that have done that. Remember George Zimmer with Men's Warehouse? You don't like the way you look, I guarantee you.
Right, absolutely.
And Papa John's Pizza. And so putting your name and especially with a little video on your website, Hi, I'm Hal Coleman. Thanks for stopping by my website today. If you've got a pest problem or a question, you've come to the right place. I want you to scroll down and read more about my company and go up and check out the top bars and see what I can help you with, and thanks for, just like you would greet somebody in your home, a name and a face. That's number one. Here's who I am.
Okay.
Number two, here's what I've got. We have a complete pest control. We're a full service company, and if you're wildlife, we're a full service wildlife company. We come out, we remove squirrels out of your attic, groundhogs out of your backyard.
Yeah.
We get rid of them, and we guarantee it so that you're not going to have them bothering you anymore. We get rid of your nuisance animal problems. And so that's what I've got. What I've got is the solution to your animal problem.
Okay.
And then here's what it'll do for you. Here's what it'll do for you when I get rid of your groundhogs. It'll let you grow that cabbage out there without having to put a fence around it, and you won't they won't be burrowing. You're not going to worry about your tractor tire caving in, or here's what it'll do for you. To get the squirrels out of your attic, it's going to save you the potential of damage. It's going to take the noise pollution away. You're not going to have to worry about secondary infestation of fleas or anything, or gnawing, and so here's what it'll do for you. Let them know what life is going to be like after your service.
Right.
Describe what life will be like after you do the service.
So you give them hope.
Here's who I am.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. And here's how you get it.
Okay.
You just simply call 770-993-0004. That's how. Just give us a call, or send us an email or a text. Always make it easy on the customer, see, because I have some people sometimes that'll tell me, now, call me, don't text me or anything, because I don't read text or anything. And, you got to do it. In other words, they're saying you got to do it my way if you want to do business with me.
Right.
So some people don't like to text. Some people don't like to talk on the phone. Some people don't like to do emails. So give your customer every option. Say, look, call me, send me an email, click here, text me, drop by the house for a drink tonight. It doesn't matter. Make it so easy for your customer. Right. Here's how you get it. Just reach out to me. And here's all these ways you can reach out to me.
So let me interject here another question. So one of the challenges with wildlife control is sometimes you're in locations where it's just not that conducive to picking up the phone. Like you may be at the back end of an attic that you've been crawling through to do an attic clean out or something. How important is it for the person calling to get a hold of a live person? Are people put off by leaving an answering machine?
Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe. I read all I do is read and study selling and marketing. I live the most boring life that you could imagine. Most books I read would just, you'd have to hold a gun to somebody's head to get them to read them,
Okay. All right.
And I never will forget reading this. And it said that in a home service business, such as pest control, plumbing, roofing, carpeting, house painting, lawn care, not having a live person answer your phone, and this is a word they use, not having a live person answer your phone has a devastating effect on your bottom line.
Devastating. Okay.
Because people will call, and a lot of people, especially baby boomers, older people, the ones who have all the money.
Yes.
And they will call, and if they get they'll just hang up, especially if they got an emergency. They just start calling, and the first person that answered the phone is going to get the job.
Right.
And so, yes, it's just so important to have a live person answer the phone. And now, look, you can get an answering service and talk with somebody there. And for instance, if you want a female to answer your phone, then whatever the female, send her a script. Write the script, everything out, and send it to her, and train her a little bit and have her answering it from a remote location somewhere. She'll sound just like she's in your office somewhere, but she'll be a live person, and they don't cost that much either.
Okay.
But you can train one to do it exactly the way the way you want it done. Here's the common questions you're going to get asked, and here's the answers to them, but just direct them to me, tell them I'm out in the field, and you'll get the message to me.
Okay.
And then they can sometimes go ahead and schedule an appointment even, so you can really train somebody to answer your phone for you, and it would just mean more sales. That's just bottom line. It'll just mean more sales.
Right. Okay. All right. Is there a tipping point when someone has to decide whether they should start looking to hire a service, a call service? Is there a rule of thumb do they have a way of determining how many calls they've missed?
Well, they should know how many calls they've missed by looking on their phone and seeing how many calls they got.
Yeah. Okay.
But being able to stop just and answer it and say, listen, yes, I can. I'm up on a roof right now. I will call you back ASAP. Just answer it and then tell them you're going to call them back. If you can, that works better than just letting it ring and go to voicemail.
Right. Okay. All right.
So
go ahead.
I want to get your 5 things out now. So
absolutely.
We got, here's who I am. Here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's how you get it. You call me. And this is the bonus. Here's why you need to get it now. And that's where you want to give the deal, a deal and a deadline.
Okay.
A deal and a deadline, because right now, you can save money if you do it. Now, it doesn't always apply to everything, but a deal with no deadline is no deal.
Right.
You see, it's got to have a deadline if it's going to be a deal.
That's right.
And so, but if you say, in other words, if you say, run specials all the time, so that now you never, I know I don't have to say this, but never, ever tell anybody anything that's not true.
Right.
We don't have to say that, but we need to, but you want to create things, you create truths that you can use. In other words, say, well, I'm going to start, I can wake up this morning and decide that I'm going to offer $50 off during the month of August for mosquito control or groundhog control or whatever, and I can set me up a deal today before I go to work, and then I can tell people, hey, I've got a deal going this month only. If you like to take advantage of it, you buy 5 treatments. You get how would you like to get a free treatment? Right. You'd like to get a free treatment. Well, all you do is you buy this package. You pay for 4 treatments, but you get 5 treatments this month only, or this week only. But create deals. Right now, while I'm out here at your home, if you want me to do this job for you, for me, of course, I did pest control and wildlife. I did, so right. I was always throwing up in something. If you want me to take care of the squirrel problem for you and all too, I'll also do a free inside out, complete top to bottom pest control service for you at no charge. Nice. And that's $150 value, and I'll do it for you. So offering deals, and here's the thing. Now, there's a thing called the proper psychological sequence. Just like opening a safe, okay? Somebody gives you the combination to the safe. You can't change the order of the numbers.
Right. It has to be in the right order. That's right.
You got to do it just right. So here's who I am. Here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's how you get it, and here's how you get it. Now, you've got to do it in that order. You can't say, I've got pest control, and here's if you'll call me, but they don't know who you are, you see. So you've got to start with, here's who I am. Tell them who you are. Let them know who they're doing business with. Win them over. Create rapport, and get on the same wavelength. And then here's what I've got. and here's what it'll do for you. But those 5 things, and see, that needs to be in sequence on your website, in your sales presentations, in your flyers, your door hangers, even on your business card and your oral sales presentations. That always needs to be in that sequence, you see.
Okay.
And understanding that because you're speaking to who do you want to be talking to when you sell? If you sit down at the closing table with somebody, who do you want to be talking
Decision
to?
maker. You want someone who has the
Absolutely.
authority to make the decision.
Absolutely. So do you think buying decisions are made by the conscious mind or the subconscious mind?
I've learned this from some of my own reading. We buy on emotion, but then we justify it with our rational mind.
Well, our subconscious, we justify it after we make the buying decision.
That's right. Yeah, we buy it and then we justify
it. The subconscious mind makes the decision to buy, and then the conscious mind justifies it. So it's really opposite of the way you would think it would be.
Yeah, it didn't make it.
So the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind is the decision maker.
Okay.
So when you sit down to talk to somebody, do you want to be talking to their conscious mind or their subconscious mind?
You have to talk to the subconscious mind.
Yes, because if you talk to the conscious mind, you're going to get things like, oh, well, yeah, it looks good. I need to think about it. I don't know what I want to do. Let me think about this and I'll get back with you. I need to probably run this by my wife. I might want to check with you get all these things because you got them confused. You got them into a state of what's known as cognitive dissonance. They can't make a decision because you confused them.
Yeah.
They really wanted to buy from you, but you blew it. So speaking in that proper sequence is part of getting that message directly to the subconscious where the decision's going to be made.
And so this is why, so tying it in, this is why in terms of our industry, we've worked so hard trying to get people to look at their appearance, the appearance of their truck, because that helps breed confidence.
Oh, yes.
That the person's a professional and they're coming to solve a particular problem and they have respect for the person's property. Does that make sense?
They're going to size you up,
right,
and judge you within the first 4 seconds after they meet you.
Wow,
4 seconds.
That's hard.
So when they open the door and you're standing there, if you have on a cap, it needs to be a company cap with the company logo. It doesn't need to be camouflaged with a fish hook in it. Or have a picture of Richard Petty on it or anything else.
Yes.
And it needs to have a clean uniform. You don't need to be wearing jeans with holes in the knees. You don't need to look like you just came from an audition for Duck Dynasty.
Right.
When you show up at somebody's door.
Yes.
Because they're going to, especially if you're marketing to the affluent.
Right.
You say marketing, which so it all depends, but the first impression is a big marketing tool.
Yeah, I tell wildlife control operators we don't work for the poor. You should probably do some charitable work for the poor, but the poor people don't hire you because they don't have the money. So you're going to be working for people who have to have a disposable income in order to hire those types of services.
Yeah.
Well, let's go through those 5 one more time. Just list them, and then I want you to talk about your company in the last few minutes that we have left. I want you to talk about who you're, who should be contacting you, what you're targeting for, and what you can do for them.
All right, what I call the magic combination. Here's who I am. Name and face of the company. Here's who I am. Here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's how you get it. And here's why you should get it now.
All right, everybody. I hope you got that. So that's valuable information for you to take care of. So,
and if they go back to pestcontrolmarketing.live and watch last week's episode of our Mike Stewart and I's new streaming internet TV show, marketing show.
Okay.
That's the topic that I talked about. So they can catch it there too. But cool. My website is pestcontrolmarketer.com, but they can find me at pestcontrolmarketing.live. They can find me at the pestcontrolmarketingpodcast.com. And right now they can go to how to grow a pest control business, and they can download this book, Bottom Line, How to Grow a Pest Control Business. I've got over 100 tips and strategies in there that they can go right out and use. Over 100 of them in there.
And what's it cost?
They can download it free right
Oh
now.
my
At the
goodness.
it's $30 if you buy it on Amazon.
Oh wow.
So,
You hear
but you
about
can
it? That's
you can
amazing.
download it at howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com. They can get it free.
Okay.
And if anybody is interested in finding out more about my coaching business, if they want to give me a call at 770-993-0004, and my contact information is on all those places, is on my website, but I'll treat them to a 1-hour coaching session. It won't cost them a penny, and there's no obligation, and there's no pressure or anything, but I'll send them away with some dynamite information. Before we do the entire hour, I send them a questionnaire to fill out about their business, about 15 questions. So when we have our hour together, I don't have to spend the hour asking them all these questions. I've already got answers to them. I've already done my homework. I've already looked at their website. I know what they're doing and what they're not doing. And when we sit down for that hour, I will send them away with some fantastic information to help them put their business on a growth track, and it won't cost them one penny.
Yeah, let me just add one thing, and I hope the listeners of our audience here are going to take advantage of this, but I would want to give you one caveat, and that is, if you're going to reach out to Mr. Coleman, and I hope you do, have an attitude of the willingness to learn and the openness to change. That can be hard for those of us in the wildlife control field. We tend to be quite traditional. We find something that works and we're afraid to change. That makes us great trappers and great wildlife control operators, but not always the best business people.
Exactly.
So you don't have to accept everything. I'm not saying that, but be open to that and actually be in a place where you're willing to at least give it a college try or high school try or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, we're blue collar guys. I'm one of them. And we're technophobes and we're set in our ways.
Right.
We don't like to stop and ask directions when we get lost out in somewhere. And because that's a subconscious thing. See, your subconscious mind perceives change as a threat.
Right.
That's why you find all this exercise equipment in people's basements over in the corner with clothes hanging on them. And because somebody wanted to change, they wanted to change their physical appearance. And they started doing it, and their subconscious mind said, no,
right.
No, we don't do that. We got to go to the grocery store. We got to do this. Subconscious just eventually beats you down and talks you out of it.
No, I think that I struggled with this. I had I'm trying to grow my business, of course, I have some limitations, but I tried to grow some of my business. And I had a guy tell me, you should do some videos. And I was resisting videos. I was like, come on, it's so much extra work. And I finally started doing some videos, and I think it's had an impact.
I'm sure
same thing that you said, Stephen, you got to talk about your books more and write about the features. And I finally started doing that a little bit. And so now we're starting to see some change. So definitely everybody be open to change and take advantage of this opportunity.
If I'd have had this thing in June of 1990, when I went in business for myself, I would have grown my business 10 times faster.
It's an amazing tool.
So much pest control that I couldn't have serviced it all.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool that people I don't think we leverage it enough. And when I talk to people, absolutely. Well, how about some closing remarks? What do you want to have we have the key combination here for sales that you gave us. Offered us some free coaching and even a free book, a download of your book at howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com, where they can download your $30 book. I mean, look at the value you're getting here, folks. And then ultimately, is there anything else that you want to make sure you leave with our audience here before we wrap it up?
Well, it like you and I believe said in the beginning, you don't have to grow your business.
Right.
I know guys that have been one-man operators for 40 years, and they have they have to have a ladder to climb up on their bed because there's so much money between the mattresses. They can't get up there, you see.
Right.
And I envy that. But I went in business for myself for freedom because I wanted to get employees as quick as I could so that when deer season opens and turkey season opened,
Okay.
I could just go and be gone for a week. Or go to the golf course just for freedom. I got too many dang hobbies.
Yeah.
And so I wanted the freedom to be able to get out and do things. And but then with that comes the challenge of managing employees,
Right.
and managing a fleet, and managing workman's comp, and managing behaviors. And so that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of pest control operators out there, one-man operators, 2, 3-man operators, who are stuck. Yep. They're just stuck. And they want to build a business that they can, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, somebody write them a check for $1 million or $2 million.
Right.
And they've been doing $250,000 worth of business for 14 years.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to break through. They don't know how. And that is my ideal client, somebody who wants to grow their business. They have a hunger to do it, but they're stuck.
Yep.
And they don't have a clue how to get it going. And that's a person that will benefit the most from what I offer. I've been there, done that, you know, and if I knew, like I say, if I wish I'd have been around when I was in the pest control business.
Yeah, well, I've said that before. If I knew
nobody teaching the stuff that I teach when I was in it.
Yeah,
so
if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have kept my business going when I was doing wildlife control work. But I got so many regrets, but it's too late to look back now. So
yeah, and you know, there's nothing that there's no problem that you run up on in the wildlife business or the pest control business that there's not somebody that's one phone call away that's already solved that problem before, and they can tell you exactly how to do it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
So you've got to be open to reaching out. Don't spend a week trying to figure something out when you can make a phone call and somebody can tell you exactly how to do it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people who had pride, you know, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out sooner or later. Yeah, but you'll figure it out. But why not just call that guy and he'll tell you how to do it?
Yeah, ignorance is a very expensive teacher.
Yeah.
So it can cost you a ton of money. And so that's, you know, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It is because when I started, we didn't have a lot of these resources available. So guys, they're out there. I'm saying guys, because most wildlife control operators are ladies. No offense, ladies. We're glad to have you on board. Well, Mr. Coleman, we are very glad and blessed to have you as part of coming onto our show here, the Living the Wildlife, and we're really grateful for the information. I hope everybody, you take advantage of some of these opportunities that Mr. Coleman has mentioned, and don't forget the key combination, the 5 points. Think about how your marketing is going, how your sales practices are going. Take some time and do some introspection while you're out there driving. Take a look and ask yourself the question, what can you change in your business to help do more conversions and make more money for yourself and service your clients appropriately? And of course, download Mr. Coleman's book. I'm going to once we get off here, I'm going to go online and download it myself. So you never know what kind of things you're going to be able to pick up that you can apply with, especially with the years of experience. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. Well, Mr. Coleman, let me spotlight your website one more time here. It is pestcontrolmarketer.com, pestcontrolmarketer.com. And you can also find Mr. Coleman with halcoleman.com. He's got more websites. It's amazing how many sites he has. So, and you are all over the place.
Now, one thing we got to get correct. Mr. Coleman was my father. Okay.
All right.
Hal.
Okay. Well,
I'm Hal.
All right, Hal. Well, we're very glad to have you on board here. And so while we wrap it up, everybody, I'm Stephen Vantassel, Wildlife Control Consultant. Stephen Vantassel, a Wildlife Control Consultant. Hey, send me an email. Tell me what you think of the show. Give me some ideas of what you want for future shows. Yes, even criticism, we'll take that. Then you send that to wildlifecontrolconsultant@gmail.com, wildlifecontrolconsultant@gmail.com. And remember, folks, this is Living the Wildlife. Why? Because we want you to live the wildlife, not be the wildlife. Be careful out there. Take care, everybody.